What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is another episode of the latest from Japan. This is episode 2. And if you missed episode 1, down below in the description will be the link to episode 1 if you want to read or listen to episode 1. And if you're confused, these articles are going to be about the new cards that are coming out in Japan if you missed episode 1. Make sure you did check that out if you want to see some cards. But let's go over this new edition. This edition is going to be Spooky Trees, Tengu returns, and more. I'm not sure what that even means. Tengu returns. Alright, so mark your calendar. 6 cards, friends. X, Y, Rage of the Broken Heavens will be released just 1 week from today. I think it's a little bit shorter than a week now. It'll be December 11th. Expect the full set translation right here on 60 cards shortly after the set releases. But before then, we'll have plenty of new scans to show you right now. Here we go. Now, the first one is going to be Pharaoh Seed. It's just a basic Pokemon. You know, it's 60 HP, hardened during opponent's next turn. If this Pokemon will be damaged by attack, prevent that attack's damage done to this Pokemon if the attack damage is 60 or less. So if they're doing more than 60, then obviously they're going to knock you out because, you know, Pharaoh Seed only has, 60 HP. So it'd be kind of cool if it said if they're doing 70 HP or more, the attack doesn't do anything, but that'd be pretty broke. I mean, it does need a metal and a color, so it is kind of hard to power up. But basically, this is, it's going to be powered for the new Ferrothorn that we saw on the last episode. Next up is going to be the Nuzleaf, and that's because we saw the Seedot, and we know that we're getting a Shiftry, Razor Wind, Flip a Coin if Tails, attack does nothing, Corkscrew Punch, 20. Thing is, if Shiftry is going to be a played card, if it's going to be a played card, there's a Seedot and a Nuzleaf that are grass type. I'm pretty sure they are in standard. That you want to play those instead. Let me make sure if it says this in the description. Let's see. With Forest of Giants plants, the Flash Fire one, it's definitely superior. So that way you get the turn 1 Shiftry. And speaking of Shiftry, here he is, the almighty Shiftry. Is he as broken as the last one? Let's find out together. The attack is going to be Blow Away. Flip 3 coins. Discard a number of cards from your opponent's hand equal to the number of heads. Alrighty, so you're going to discard 3 cards out of their hands. Now, this is not a really good attack. I mean, you might be able to find a way around it. Maybe you can use Judge every turn to put down to 4, and then use Blow Away, flip 3 coins, and that way you discard 3 cards out of their hands. And maybe you could play like Trick Shovel to look at the top card of their deck and discard it or not to know they top deck something. But even then, what are you trying to accomplish? Like, yeah, you're slowing them down. Yeah, you're making it where they don't draw into anything, but you're not doing any damage. And Tengu returns. I guess that's what Shiftry's called in Japan. I guess it's, instead of Tengu, it must be Shiftry. Put 1 trainer card from your discard pile into your hand. Now, Shiftry, not that great of it. It's not that great. It's not as broken as Giant Fan. Don't worry. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe it might be could be good. It could be good. But I'm gonna say right now, this card is going to get cool points because it's got a cool artwork. That's about it. Like a 2 out of 10 just because of the artwork. The attack not so great unless you can somehow control the top card of your opponent's deck forever. And maybe you'll be okay, but if you, I don't know. If there's a card that can rearrange the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck, then that combination with Shiftry would be good. But that card will always be played because you can just put that in any deck. I don't know. I don't think Shiftry is going to be good. I think down below it even says this card won't amount to much competitively, but at least it's interesting. Both attacks are somewhat unique. Blow Away has obviously synergy with Judge and a couple lucky flows, so you might be able to strain your opponent with a dead hand. Unfortunately, there's so many draw outlets in the format that it's unlikely the opponent would draw dead for too long, especially because Tengu Return doesn't put out enough pressure to capitalize on your opponent's dead hand. Still, it'll be a fun card to mess around with, and that's the thing. It's going to be a fun card to mess around with. I don't think it's going to be that serious. Now, the thing you could do is with Tengu Return, you could do 60 and then put a trainer card from your discard pile into your hand to get the Trick Shovel. That could be your best bet. That way you're kind of manipulating the top card of the deck, but you never know what they're getting after that one Trick Shovel. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna give it a big maybe. I mean, because you can use like double Trick Shovel, and that way you constantly know what they have like over and over again to know if they're dead drawing, or make sure that they're like dead drawing. I don't. We'll see. you have any ideas for Shiftry, let me know in the comments down below. And if you think it's playable, let me know. We'll chat about it in the comments. Now, next up is going to be Phantom. Search stick for a card that evolves for this Pokemon and put it onto this Pokemon. This is kind of evolving this Pokemon, shuffle your deck afterwards. Now, this is really, really good. It doesn't even matter what the other Trevenant is, Trevenant, whatever you call it. This one can automatically go into the what's the one? I can't remember the ability right now. The one that makes it where your opponent can't play item cards, which is great because usually you try to Wally turn one to get out the Trevenant. Now you can just play like a Dimension Valley and get a Trevenant out without even using a supporter card like Wally, which is great. And you know, we haven't seen the new Trevenant right now. I think it's further down in the description. But this is a great card to have, and I really, really do like this Phantom because of the Ascension. And this is a new go-to Phantom for Trevenant decks, obviously because of Ascension. Following in the footsteps of Pokemon like Shuppet, CG, and Zora DX, Phantom has the Ascension attack, which allows it to immediately evolve into Trevenant from the deck, as both Trevenant XY and the new Trevenant have abilities that require it to be active. This active will be proved to be very, very useful. Now, it does say there's a new Trevenant, and here is the new Trevenant. Okay, so it has the ability Worry Seed, and this Pokemon is your active Pokemon. Your opponent's basic Pokemon's attacks cost 1 more colors. So, the thing is to note is it has to be a basic Pokemon, so Megas can get around this. That's the only thing I'm really worried about is Megas can get around this. But you can combine this with Headringer onto basic EX Pokemon, making it where they need 2 colors energies. Now, this said your opponent's EX Pokemon attacks cost 1 more colors. Then that could be good because they're Mega Pokemon EX. I guess the cool thing is now, like, Baby Evital can't hit you unless they have, like, a darken of colors. Maybe you can slow down Night March even more because now their Pumpkaboo's need 3 energies, their Phantoms need 4 energies. So maybe it's a weird battle for sure. I think I still like the other Trevenant, but we still haven't read all of this. This Energy Press 70. This attack does 10 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So the attack's not so great for sure. But maybe you could play both Trevenants. If you know that your opponent is playing like a very low energy attackers, you could use Gengar and then go back into this Trevenant instead of the item locking one, so that way they need more energies to attack you. That could be a possibility that we could see with this deck. I think regardless we might see one of this Trevenant. If not, it wouldn't surprise me anyway. But I definitely do like this ability more than attack. Now, let's see what they say. One of the card designers must really like Trevenant. This is the second Trevenant card we've gotten with 1 Instinct Disrupted ability and a viable attack. Man, but 70... Okay, this attack does 10 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. I mean, if they have 3 energies, you're doing 100. I don't know. Though, this one would have to compete for space with the familiar item lock of Trevenant. Worry Seed has plenty of potential on its own. Combined with Headringer, it could slow down your opponent's attacks by several turns, and you can throw hammers into the mix as well if you are so inclined. Expect plenty of players to try to break this card once it comes out, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think Energy Press is going to be that good of attack. I definitely think playing Crush Hammers, Headringers, using Worry Seed, and stuff like that will make it, very viable. But I think the other Trevenant, the item like one, is a lot better. Now, next up is going to be a Trevenant Break. It has 160 HP, which this is great. One problem with Trevenant that we had is that it had 110, and it gets one-shotted by Mega Manetrix over and over and over again, making that matchup really, really bad. But now they can't one-shot you, they have to two-shot you, which is great. It has the attack Silent Fear. Place 3 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. Now, this is actually a decent attack because if you play, let's say you play this other Trevenant, right? You play the one where your opponent's active Pokemon needs 1 more colors to attack. So you can basically slow them down, use a single Psychic Energy with Dimension Valley to make it where you're doing 30 everywhere constantly over and over again, while they need, just with the Worry Seed and the Headringer, they need 2 energies by itself to even activate their attack cost, which is great. And I really, really do like the Trevenant Break a lot. You might be thinking 3 damage counters isn't a lot, but I mean, within 6 turns of you using it, you're going to knock out EX Pokemon. unless they start easing them up. But I'm really interested in this Trevenant break. It's probably one of the cooler breaks we've seen in this new set right now. I mean, I can't say that really. Gyarados is still probably one of my favorite cards. Alright, let's see what it says. Speaking of breaking Trevenant, oh, look at that pun there. Breaking Trevenant, break Trevenant, ha. Oh, so funny. This card might be playable. And I don't think it's a might, I think it will be playable. Silent Fear is a very efficient spread attack with Dimension Valley and has a bulky 160 HP and 2 different good Trevenant and can break evolve from. It's hard to say for sure right now, but don't count this card out. But I definitely think this Trevenant break is a better, way more, I guess, better thing to have in the game than this Trevenant. And then we have this Phantom as well. I mean, oh man, Trevenant looks so great right now on paper. Next up is going to be Newball. Let's see, just 10, 40, basic Pokemon. Next up is Camerupt. It has the Eruption, 80 damage. Each player discard the top card of his or her deck. This attack does 60 more damage for each energy card discarded in this way. Okay, so you have the potential to do 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 200 damage, if I did the math wrong. Math right? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, plus another 60. 200 damage if they do discard 2 energies. Now, it's probably not going to see play. I mean, it's cool to have the potential to do 200 damage, but you need 2 fires and a colors. He has 130 HP. He's going to get knocked out pretty easily. Unless we see a Mega Camerupt, then things could get interesting. Let's see what it says down below. While this Camerupt is unlikely to see prey, Eruption is kind of neat. It's not often you see a card whose damage output is dependent upon your opponent's deck. This card is a novelty at best, but at least the art it is cool. Yeah, I mean, the art is very cool. We see the Eruption happens on the Camerupt's back and the Volcano's explosion too. But that's it for this episode of Eye of Japan. No, what is it called? Hold on a second. I know it's from the top. We're gonna go to the top. The latest from Japan. Sorry, I said the Eye of Japan. That's a different article from a different website. I don't know. So yeah, there we go. There's another episode of the latest from Japan. What card are you most excited about? Are you excited about the Shift Tree? I'm personally excited about this Phantom a lot, just because that Ascension attack is going to make the item like a Trevenant so good. And down below in the description will be a link to this article if you really want to read more about it. And there's going to be a video down below where you can see some, it looks like a Greninja break, the red Gyarados. We actually talked about these in the Wednesday's weekly report before we started doing these. And don't worry, if you are a fan of the weekly Wednesday report, it'll be around still. It just won't be covering cards. And look forward to next week where I talk about the whole new set of, what is it called? Rage of the Broken Heavens. We'll get my first look, and we'll see what cards I like the most, what cards I think are going to be good, what you should be thinking about considering. Even though it's like a month away, and it's not going to be playable till the end of February, it's still cool to look at these cards ahead of time. But good luck at cities. If you're at cities this week, or today, tomorrow, if you're at a regionals, good luck as well. Let me know if you make top 8 at regionals. We can set up an interview. Let me know if you like this video. Have a great day. Alrighty.